What's up, everybody? I hope everybody is doing well today. As you guys can see from the title, um, I'm gonna just be talking about narcissism because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have, like myself, witnessed like an influx of people talking about narcissism, narcissists, all of this stuff. So, in this video, I'm going to, from what I've learned on, this journey of me waking up and becoming enlightened, I'm going to give you some tips on what I feel like will, can and will prevent narcissism in a person, okay? So, because I often see so many videos about people talking about it, but I never hear people talking about how it could be cured or how it could be prevented. So, here we go right now. So this is just me. Like I said, this is from what I've witnessed, my experiences. To be honest, I've had a lot of narcissists in my life. I also have exhibited narcissistic tendencies at times, like period. I did. So, we're going to talk about that. So, one of the ways that you can prevent narcissism, okay? Because at this point, I'm going to assume that the general people that watch this is going to know basically what narcissism is, okay? Um, so, one of the ways that you can prevent narcissism is in the early stages of raising your children, right? Is to love them properly, right? Giving them a healthy balance of love, nurturing, affection, discipline, accountability. That is a very important factor when we're talking about raising kids and preventing narcissism, because narcissists have this entitled nature, right? So if you're raising a child to not be entitled and you're raising them to be an even kill energy, of course, as parents, we're not going to do everything perfectly, but the goal is, the objective is to aim for the healthiest energy in raising our children, okay? So we want to talk about loving our children properly, right? Giving them the right type of affection so they won't feel entitled to it when they become adults or when they become young adults or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are not able to give their children certain things because they weren't given these things as when they were being raised or whatever. No matter who were raising them, they weren't given certain love. They weren't given proper love. They wasn't given affection. They wasn't being told like I love you. Those type of things, right? So that's why, going back to what I always say, it is what it is. It's imperative to heal. Um, People who don't have kids, to me, have a super high advantage to not raising narcissistic people or people with narcissistic tendencies, okay? Because if there is a possibility that they have to heal, they can do that healing before they have children. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh, just because, okay, I have children that are getting older or whatever. You still can heal, which means that's still not, you still need to heal or whatever. So, realizing and not being in denial that there were certain things that were denied of you when you were being raised. The list could be a mile long of things that a child, you know, possibly didn't receive that would make them into an energy where they would feel entitled to something. Because any adult that feels entitled to anything, that's a sickness. That's not normal. Nobody owes anybody anything unless I loan you something and then I literally owe you that. Now that's a different situation. But to just be out here feeling like something is owed to you or you're entitled to something because you are you and just what you feel in your mind, that's not healthy. And that is a component of being a narcissist. So we talk about going back to what I was saying, healing yourself so you're able to give your children what you didn't have and to raise them in an environment and in an energy that you weren't raised in, to give them the proper structure and the things that they need. Now, like I said, going back, I just want to make sure I'll make this very clear. There's no such thing as a perfect person, so there's not going to be a certain thing as a perfect parent. That's impossible to be a perfect parent. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, but all in all, the main component, in my opinion, when you're raising children is love. If you don't do anything else with your children, you make sure you love them, you make sure you nurture them, and you make sure you take care of them. You love them properly. I mean, because that's what is missing from narcissists. That's what they did not get. They did not receive proper love. Period. Whether their parents were uncomfortable, whether their parents didn't know how to do it, whatever the case is, or their parents were conditioned to not love properly, they didn't receive the proper love. That's what it is. It's really simple, you guys. Sometimes things seem so complicated, but it's just so simple. Those things are so simple, particularly in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, when you're raising a young boy. Because a lot of times we think just because a boy is a male, that he doesn't need the type of love that we would give our daughters. No. Oh, no. You have to love, you have to hug that child, you have to uplift that child, you have to nurture that child, you have to bear hug your children. Okay, if you are uncomfortable with this, then you need to go deep and work on yourself. If you're watching this, and this is not no shade, please stop taking things personal, y'all. This is for us to evolve, ascend, to grow, and to become the best versions of ourselves. So please don't take anything personal. I'm making this video to help and uplift. So this is not a no judgment. This is judgment-free zone. Maybe I need to put that somewhere in the video. Like, this is a judgment-free zone. This is not me judging anybody. Okay? But you need to love on your children. They're going to be, when they get older, they're going to get to a point where they be like, oh, I don't want that. My 6-year-old does that to me at times. He'd be like, Mom, I don't want a kiss. Just give me a hug. But then at times he run up on me and he just wants me to kiss him, or he wants to kiss me. You see what I'm saying? My daughter is emotionally like open like that as well. Sometimes she doesn't feel like she gets enough, even though she's 18 and I hug her and I kiss her and I tell her I love her and I uplift her. It's very important. It's very important. A lot of times people cannot do that because they're, like I said, they weren't raised that way. They weren't structured that way. They didn't receive that type of unconditional love. They didn't receive that type of nurturing. They didn't receive that type of affection. That's how narcissists are made. Period, you guys. It's as simple as that. Just love on your babies. Love on them. Hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. If they're doing something, I don't believe in whoopings. There was a time when I did whoop, but it wasn't frequently, but it was when my daughter did something to put herself in harm's way of a situation, and but I never, like, on a regular basis just believed in whooping like some parents did from, back in the day or whatever. But discipline is important. Telling a child when they are wrong and not letting them get away. Now, little stuff, minor offenses, depending on the age, I don't really think it's necessary to always say something, because children are going to be children. It's in their nature to do things and be rambunctious and be a little naughty and do little things. I mean, but when it's things, if you tap into your intuition, going back to spirituality, you'll know when you need to when you need to become more of a stern disciplinarian with your children, okay? Especially when they're entering into, middle school and teenage years and things like that. Even in their elementary school years, you need to be that disciplinarian. Let your child know, listen, it's just about having balance. Everything is about balance, okay? The yin and the yang. You can't go overboard with disciplinary and then underboard when it comes to not loving and nurturing and giving your child or children what they need. It's a balance there. You know what I'm saying? It's about accountability and it's about love. If you want to prevent narcissists, and this world has had enough narcissistic people, whether it's in power, whether you deal with them in relationships, whatever it is, we have had enough narcissists. I'm just saying, narcissists. And there's a spectrum of narcissists. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one way, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not here to talk about that. This is simply about how to prevent narcissism. And if you've already started the path of not really knowing how to be with your child or be with your children or discipline them or how to love on them based on your conditioning and based on your people who raised you conditioning and going in that generational curse energy, then start today. Start today. Go in your child's room. If you're not somebody and you know that you have not been loving on your children or child the way you need to, then start today. Go in their room, give them a hug. Kiss on them. Turn the TV off. Spend some quality time with them. If they have questions, answer it. Hug on them. Kiss on them. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're a superstar. Tell them they're destined for success. Tell them they're destined for stardom. Tell them they're destined, whatever they want, they can achieve. Let your children, as far as they reach, if they say they want to live on a goddamn planet on the moon, then you encourage that. I don't care what you say. That's healthiness. You don't discourage your children. You don't discourage them and tell them that they can't do something. If a child comes to you and say, I want to do this, mom or dad, then you encourage that. Then you encourage that. You encourage that. You step behind them and you are their biggest cheerleader, man or woman, father or mother. It does not matter. Or if you're a grandmother or aunt or uncle or a grandparent in general raising children, it doesn't matter. That's the energy you must be in to raise healthy children. Nobody does it perfectly. Who the hell does it perfectly? But love prevents narcissism. Time spending with your children, quality time, loving on them, telling them when they need to be told stuff, not holding things back. That's another aspect of it. Because you want to be, some people want to be their children's best friends and they don't want to rock the boat or whatever. No, you need to tell your children what you do need to tell them, regardless if they don't want to hear it or not. You can't hold anything back because they're not out there thinking that everything they do is right and they're, you know what I'm saying? No, you can't do that, you guys. Love on your children, discipline them, and hold them accountable. And go within. Heal aspects of yourself that cause you not to do these things, where you didn't see people doing it with you in your life. You have to heal those things. Go within and heal. Love on your children. Show them affection. Nurture them. Cook them home-cooked meals. Have family time together. Group hugs. Me and my children, we hug each other. In the trike, we hug each other all at the same time. Spend time with them. If you're doing something, okay, I'm doing something, but I'll spend time with you shortly. That's what my son do, because my son be on my head. Okay, mom is doing something, but when I do it, mom, come watch me play the game or do this. Let's do this together. You get it? We're all here to grow, ascend, and heal. I love you guys. I hope that has been helpful. If you have any questions, if you need a personal reading, if you want a spiritual coaching session with you and your children, contact me. I love you guys. Peace. Take care.